Well, good morning. It is the 18th of December 2020, and welcome to another daily devotional. This morning, in my time with the Lord, I was in Second Chronicles chapter 28. And Second Chronicles 28 tells the story of Ahaz. Now, Ahaz was just one of the worst kings of Israel. I mean, this guy was bad. This guy, he uh, closed the temple, wouldn't let people offer sacrifices, wouldn't let the priests minister. He set up metal images to Baal. He sacrificed his children to the false Canaanite gods, and the Lord's just fed up with him. Now he's supposed to be in Judah. He's supposed to be in the southern kingdom, which didn't follow the way of Ahab and the Baals. But Ahaz, he brings him in and he sets stuff up. And it says this, therefore the Lord God gave him into the hands of the king of Syria. Now Syria and Israel were kind of a homogenous bunch at the time. And they come in and they just devastate Judah. They devastate the southern tribes and they kill a lot of the army. Then they take loads and loads of people captive. What happens is that a prophet comes and meets him. This is what it says in verse 8 of chapter 28. It says, the men of Israel took captive 200,000 of their relatives, women, sons, and daughters. They also took much spoil from them and brought the spoil to Samaria. But a prophet of the Lord was there whose name was Obed. And he went out to meet the army that came to Samaria and said to them, behold, because the Lord, the God of your fathers, was angry with Judah, he gave them into your hands. But you have killed them in a rage that has reached up to heaven. And now you intend to subjugate the people of Judah and Jerusalem, male and female, as your slaves? Have you not sins of your own against the Lord your God? Now hear me and send back the captives from your relatives whom you have taken, for the fierce wrath of the Lord is upon you. What happens is they get met by this prophet, and this prophet says, what are you doing? You've got enough sins of your own rather than taking captive 200,000 of your relatives from Judah. Return them. Don't be nuts, because God's fierce wrath will come upon you if you do this thing. Now, some of the commanders of the army were like, oh yeah, well, right enough, we don't want God's wrath upon us. And so they take the 200,000 captives and they bind up their wounds, they put clothes on them, they put them on donkeys, and they give them food and they wash them and they take them back across the border to their relatives and leave them be. It just takes one word from the Lord to transform an entire situation. It takes one word from the Lord to turn back an entire army and redeem an entire scenario. I don't know where you are at the moment. I don't know what your relationship is like with God for a lot of you. Maybe you're like Ahaz. Maybe you're trusting in other things rather than God to deliver you or to save you. Maybe you're like Obed the prophet, who's like, gosh, I want to see things change. I want to see things different. But it just takes one word from the Lord to turn things around. So maybe you're like the commanders of that army, that their hearts were changed because they heard the word of the Lord. And rather than being people who subjugated and brought others into captivity, they set the captives free. So I pray that today you would know the freedom that comes from Jesus, because he is the ultimate liberator of the captives. Have a great day.